When I got into Moy University, I played, as you can see my body, I played rugby. So I got into the rugby team. And 2 years ahead of me was a guy called Arthur Kimani. He was very good in rugby, very good, very intelligent. His moves were awesome. You'd see the kind of thinking he has as he's playing rugby. You're like, this guy is a genius, man. But aside from that, by the time I got into the campus, he had been in that campus for about 5 years. He had been repeating and repeating and repeating. So the whole idea was to try and get him to finish school. Anarudia mpaka unaona wacha tumpeleke hiyo ingine na hiyo ingine ndio amalize. How did he get into campus? He got into campus because alisukumwa primary, akasukumwa high school, akasukumwa campus. Right now, he's one of the most reputable journalists. Of course, I didn't give you his true name. Staki niingie kwa shida kutoa siri za mtu. He's one of the best journalists in this country. Neatest guy. When we were in school, he would enter, hata kama umeosha room yako ya shule na kumenyesha na kuna matope, utakubali aingie na viatu zake. Because akitoa hizo socks, nothing can eliminate the pungency of the smell for a long time. When I meet him now, he's one of the neatest people ever. Small things that can be forgotten can affect even your own particular lifestyle. That's story number one. Story number two. My first degree is in physics. My master's is in computer-based information systems. I looked at the things I can be able to accomplish with these degrees. I saw impact. I lectured. I was a lecturer like Holy Dave right there. One a PhD holder. I was a lecturer. But when I discovered that I have a voice that can sing and voice out issues, voice out kingdom issues, and voice out issues that affect the society, I said, I'm going to dive right into this music business and see, what can I change? What can I do? How can I impact change wherever I go? Sang, and realize whatever focus I have, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh, the mouth singeth, the mouth dresseth, the mouth moveth. Who you are is what you become out there. I also discovered what you surround yourself with. The average of the 5 people you hang around with, that is who you become. I also discovered another thing. If you flow with the current, the only fish that flows with the current is a dead fish. Then I discovered, okay, then you need to do things adrift from what everyone else is thinking. You have to do things with your spirit, soul, body. You have to do things that have spiritual content. You have to do things that have mind and emotions involved. And you have to do things that entertain. That's why I dance a lot. But at the end of the day, all those 3, whether you're 16, whether you're 26, whether you're 36, whether you're 46, they should be ingrained in whatever you get into. Now, I meet Deno. And when I meet Deno, I hear this voice and I'm like, this voice is a voice that is golden. It's a voice that encapsulates music. When he sings, you can never say is... People say disabled. I don't think he's disabled. I just think he's challenged differently. And he's conquered the challenges that he has and become who he is. So when we say we are going to do a song, we are like, how do we do this song, Deno? Deno tells me, we cannot do a song as far as disability is concerned that shows people are oppressed. We have to show victory. We have to show we've overcome. We have to show we are more than conquerors in whatever venture of a song we do. So we do this song that is called I Can Fly. The basic principle of I Can Fly is the fact that give me the right conditions and I will shine in whatever gifting I have. The conditions you give a mugumo tree are not the conditions you give Katumani maize. Yet Katumani maize in 3 months will give you produce. Mugumo trees in years upon years will be like what we were told Kanu. So my point is, every individual that comes into this life has to be handled totally different from any other. So I meet these people called Dyslexia. And they tell me, we have been referred by somebody from media who said your content is awesome and we would love to work with you. First things first, what is dyslexia? Then they tell me these guys have this issue where, especially B's, anaandika B, balaandike B, anaandika D. So bala kuandika boy, anaandika doy. That's why unaona hiyo Y ni Y na S zinaangalia direction nyingine. If you don't see art in that, uko nje. Me I saw art. Me I saw a form of different thinking that amazes me. Then I get to learn Richard Branson is the intellect that he is because he's dyslexic. A coin has two sides. Some of the things that we look on one side and discriminate about are actually the gifts that we need in our society. Some of the troubles that we reject, why I associate with this venture is because there are people who feel in society they have been rejected. By the time I was being thought of being born, I was rejected. Manze ametokea ako miaka 18. Ameambia ka boyfriend manze ile story kamekam. Manze namwenda utoe. Hakutoa. Si niko hapa. So I realized, can you imagine what rejection does? Yet the same people we are rejecting are probably the gifts that we have in our society. They're probably the unique things that shift our society into another level. I am an ardent reader of the Bible. Moses was a stammerer. He led a whole 2 million people from Egypt to Canaan. Ranielewa? Joseph was a reject. He saved the whole known world in that particular time. How do we know what dyslexics have for our society? And we even have examples. We said Richard Branson, Virgin Ataya, karibu niseme Virgin Records. Wani mwanamuziki ni mwanamuziki. We have people like Muhammad Ali. The boy, if you listen, and I give you homework, go listen to every interview he did in those years. The kind of intellect he had is crazy. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Then he gets into the boxing ring and tells you, this guy is too ugly to be a world champion. That's why I want to be a world champion. He says, I'm that beautiful. I'll be the champion. He says all those things. Then later when he did a crazy serious interview, he said, this is the intellect he has. He said, I basically do this so that guys can get mad, pay tickets, and come and watch me being beaten. But the bottom line, Ijaze stadium, Ijaze boxing ring, Ijaze hiyo ring, amake pesa zake. Unanielewa? That's intellect. That's dyslexia. Tom Cruise couldn't see one thing or the other in class. So when you watch his movies, many of those, what are they called? Those stunts, he does them himself. These are gifts. Now when we think that way, then how many other gifts in this country are we losing thinking they're disabled? Thinking they can't make it? And all we have to do is give them another way of looking at things. Many of the artists that I sing with, I won't mention names, in class, walikuwa nje. But the kind of ideas they have when they sing, you say, this is a genius. David Beckham, soccer star, best free kick taker I have ever seen. In class, danda. Kiangalia vile anapiga hiyo ball, you cannot understand what kind of mathematics that is. It defies mathematics. Roberto Carlos, anapiga mpira, inaenda sijui aje, inarudi inaingia. Class hakuwa. But the beautiful thing in those countries that they come from, the opportunities are available. Have we made opportunities available for our people? Do we need a lot of help? No. We start with one person. We start with 2 persons. We start with 3 peoples. We start with 4. In fact, we are lucky. Right now, how many do we have here? 60, 70. We can highlight these issues. We can see who has children struggling. Thank God for Dyslexia Organization of Kenya. They have set up a place where they can discover what kids are struggling. Are any kids that you know, or do you know any people who are struggling with the same thing? How can we highlight it? What I and Deno have used our gifts to channel good content and see that there's improvement in society. What is your gift? This is my challenge to you. What are you doing with it to change society? Be funny, be fun, enjoy life, but use that to change society. And as I say this, the one and only great reason that I invited my mentor and the chief guest, Dr. Victor Mbuvi, is his campaign for good content in this land. Because good content is there. It's right next to you. Some of the content we are running to that is not good, is not even from here. And good content affects your children, your children's children. There's a time I had a debate with somebody, and we were talking about some of this homosexuality, gayism, and all that. And then we were discussing, they were like, hey, give them their rights, let them have their rights. So I said, okay, fine, well and dandy, that's not bad. If it's your kid, are you okay with it? They're like, no. Then I'm like, are we introspective about the issues at hand that are moving on? It doesn't take 1 million people. It takes one. We're more than one. And can we do it? Yes, we can.